Hey, welcome back to Smoking with the Robinsons. Today we are cooking up one of our favorite cuts of beef, and that is a tri-tip. This comes from the bottom part of the sirloin. This one we have today is about 2 3/4 pounds. So this I'd say this is on the bigger side of the tri-tip, but it does have a fat cap on the back side. What we like to do first thing is take all this fat off. A lot of people like to leave the fat, but if we were doing a reverse sear on this, I might leave it, but we're going to grill it up just like a steak. And so I want to take all this off to expose all the meat. Get a little slippery cutting board action going on. I'm gonna cut your fingers if you don't get them back. So we just take all this, basically until you're tired of trimming. This is a pretty lean piece of meat, so you definitely don't want to overcook it. We're gonna shoot for an internal temperature of this at about 128 or 129 degrees, right in the thickest part in the middle. So what's good about a tri-tip, if you've got some people that like a rare, medium rare cut right in the middle, that's what you'll get if that's where you're temping. And then on the end, you're going to be in that medium well right on the end. You're going to come back to medium, hit the medium rare, and then rare right in the center. And then the same thing in the other way. This is trimmed up about the way I like it. Don't have to go too crazy with it, but we're just exposing all this meat. But one thing I want you to notice on a tri-tip is the grain here is running this way. And as you get to this bigger part back here, it turns coming here. If you do not cut across the grain on a tri-tip, I guess you got better teeth than I do, because you cannot chew it. It's tougher than beef jerky. So starting on this end, when the grain's coming this way, get on in here where we can see this. You're going to want to start cutting here because the grain's going this way. And then as you get down here, you're going to turn your knife coming up this way because the grain turns and running this way. This tri-tip does have some good marbling in it, which is always a good thing. So we're going to get this seasoned up. The first thing we're going to start off with for our base layer is Fiesta brand Uncle Chris gourmet steak seasoning. So let's get this on here. We'll go a pretty good dose with this. This has got some herbs, some salt, pepper. This tri-tip can take quite a bit of seasoning. Make sure you get all your edges. We'll pat that in. Give it a flip. Come back, do the back side. Give that a pat. The next thing we're going to use is Killer Hogs Hot Barbecue Rub. Awesome rub here and gives a great color to the meat. Give that a little pat. We're not rubbing. I know it's a lot of people call it rub, but we just pat it in. Just a good even coat. Pat that. And since we're outside, we're fixing to lay a piece of foil over this just to kind of let those seasonings work in, try to keep some flies off. But whenever we come back, our PK 360 is ready to go and we'll get this on. Stick around. Alright, this grill is ready to go. This meat has had time to sweat down. Check that out. Looks awesome already. So what we did with our PK 360 is we lit one chimney full of Royal Oak briquettes, and this sucker's screaming. She's running 525 degrees. We've got our grill grates in. I haven't temped those, but I bet they're running up around that 700-degree mark. Let's get this thing on. As you can see, we do have some squash and zucchini as a side coming on. But we've got this big area over here, and what we're going to do is lay this down at a 45-degree angle. We're going to give her a good press, and we're going to come back and give this a flip after 2 minutes. We've got our chef alarm set up right here if you watched our alarm video. So we're going to go ahead and start this timer on here to get our 2 minutes and where we can get the total cook time. So we'll come right back to you when it's time to give this thing a rotation. We got our handy dandy grill grate spatula. We've been 2 minutes, actually 2 minutes 15 seconds. So let's give this thing a rotate. We're going to slide this thing in these grooves. We're going to give her a turn right there. We're going to mash it down. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds good. Got some sizzling going on. Let's get this lid closed. We'll give it another 2 minutes. In another 2 minutes, we're going to give this thing a flip. Woo! Look at that, look at that. Alright, we're going to give this thing another 2 minutes. It's been 2 more minutes. We're going to give the last rotation. Sorry for the elbow in your face. Give her a mash down. Oh, these veggies are looking good. Alright, 2 more minutes. Then we're going to take our PK rack and we're going to set it over here, stick us a probe right in the middle, and let her finish out. Alright, it's been our last 2 minutes. Here's what it's looking like. Hey, buddy. Look at this dirty kid here. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up on the rack. There you go, dirty. And we are going to stick this probe right in the middle. And so on our chef alarm here, this temperature at the top, the 105, 106 now, is the internal temperature of the tri-tip. The 128 is what we want to pull this thing off, so it's going to alarm when it hits 128 degrees. And so we've been going right at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And so what we're going to do right now is we're just going to add a little bit of unsalted butter to the top of this, and we're going to close the lid, and we're going to let it roll till it finishes. So as soon as it hits 128 degrees, we'll come back to you. Alright, we have hit 129 degrees, as you can see. We had a little visitor come up here, and he's back out there now playing in the yard. So this thing is done. Oh yeah, let's turn this alarm off. So we did go right at 29 minutes is how long this total cook went. So all we're going to do now is transfer this into this pan. We're going to loosely cover it, and we're just going to let it hang out for about 10-15 minutes, let it rest. And I did want to say, you probably can't see it in here, but all of our coals were from about here over, and we had a spot over here with no coals. Oh, these vegetables are looking good too. So we're going to let this rest 10-15 minutes. We're going to slice it up for you, and then we're going to eat. So y'all stick around about 15 more minutes, which will only be like half a second for y'all, but y'all stick around. Told you we'd be back real quick, but it has been about 15 minutes that we've let this rest. So we have this on our cutting board now, and it looks amazing. Sorry, we got flies around, so you might see me swatting, but as you can see, hopefully, the grain running that way. So slicing across the grain. So we are using our Victorinox 12-inch slicer. This is what we use at contests to slice brisket, ribs, pork butts. But let's get into this. So as I told you, this end would be a little more done. This would be what my mom would eat right here. She doesn't like seeing any red, which is not blood.
It does look a little bit pinker or more red in the video than it truly does in person, just so you know.
Oh, well, thanks for that little info there. Appreciate that.
Anytime.
So let's slice this up. I don't like to do too thick of slices. I like them pretty thin. So about right here is to the point where this grain starts going towards you. So here's where we want to kind of turn our knife this way and slice here. Let me tell you, I've had a tri-tip from a buddy. I'm not going to say any names, but his name starts with a J and his last name starts with a D, that might have cut a tri-tip wrong, and it was a little tough. But on the other hand, this squash and zucchini you saw came straight from his garden. Appreciate it. Alright, here we go. See this middle here? Looks good. We got a lot of moisture in here. I don't think this is going to get on my beard like last time. Let's give this a try. Awesome. Got some good salt from that Uncle Chris fajita seasoning. Not fajita, Fiesta brand. Look how tender that is. That Killer Hogs hot rub gave this a good color. Gives an awesome flavor, just a little kick of heat. This is our favorite thing to cook. We cook these all the time. I know some places, depending on where you are, you might not be able to find these, but if you can order one in, do yourself a favor and do it. This was about 2.5, 2 3/4 pounds. Whenever they're this size, we grill them like a steak. If we ever get a hold of one that's over that 3 pound, we kind of do a little reverse sear on it. And just because it gets a little thicker and it's harder to cook, just like a steak. So, future video alert. So, I'm tired of swatting flies. I'm ready to eat.
I gotta go give a kid a bath.
Oh yeah, we got a kid covered in dirt out here. So y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out our new Instagram channel. I'll be honest, Facebook channel is not up yet. I'm working on that. Subscribe to our channel. We're almost to 400 subscribers. We may be by the time this video comes out. So I appreciate everybody watching. So does Kelsey. Thanks for everybody subscribing. Give our videos some thumbs up. There will be another video right up here, I think. Watch that. It's just going to be another random video on our channel. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching on a computer, click right down here and there's going to be a subscribe button. Hover over that. Subscribe. A lot more stuff coming. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.